so welcome to the inaugural episode of Nameless in Japan podcast, featuring Christopher Puan. My name is Christopher Puan. I'm a Singaporean. Been living in Japan for the past 4 years, maybe.
My name's Ethan Heiner. I'm American. I've been living in Japan for the past 5.5 years.
So we decided to start this thing because we thought that, hey, why not share about our lives in Japan, especially since we live on the western side of Japan, and which is typically not that much discussed compared to Tokyo, right? So yeah, we are gonna talk about first for the inaugural episode. We're gonna talk about why Japan in general, right? We're gonna start from the macro, the general idea, then slowly maybe zoom into things like daily life, things like studying in Japan, working in Japan.
So, why Japan? Why did you come here?
So let's say we go for 3 things each, right? So why Japan? 3 reasons. The first reason for myself, maybe we take turns, yeah? So 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. So the first reason, I guess, would be I definitely wanted to try living and working overseas. And compared to Singapore, so I'll be going from the perspective of a Singaporean, so someone from an Asian country moving to another Asian country. So some people might not know, but Singapore is one of the richer countries in Asia. Standard of living wise, there's not much of a difference compared to Japan, to be honest. And that was one of the things that was my consideration when I was moving here, because Singapore is well known to be a safe country. There are no natural disasters. The crime rate is very low, similar to Japan, but Japan is full of natural disasters. And the food is very similar, Asian to Asian. We both eat rice as a staple food. So the transition, the shock, is not as bad compared to, let's say I move to, let's say, Europe or America, where rice is not so much. You can correct me. I guess rice is not so much of a staple compared to other kinds of food. Maybe I'm not sure.
At least in the US, we eat it a lot, but it's not staple. It's like, 2 or 3 times a week. Sometimes, some families, depends on the family.
Okay, mine is like almost every day.
Yeah.
So that's one of the main things. The desire to work overseas, but maybe not get such a huge shock in terms of culture. And yourself?
So like you wanted to kind of something a little bit comfortable with your experience.
Yeah, and of course it helps that they got back to me pretty fast. The first job application that I applied for, compared to the other countries in my list, Japan got back to me the fastest.
So just kind of like just by chance.
In a way. Yeah, in a way by chance as well. Yes.
My story is completely different, but like it was not something I planned. I never planned to leave the US. So I'm from Utah in the US, and so growing up, most of my life I just thought about. It's not really an option. You don't really think about living abroad as an American. It's just kind of, you're here, you're gonna go to college, you're gonna get a job, you're gonna work here, and you're gonna live here. We don't think other countries are for travel only. We don't think about it as like an option.
To live, right?
Yeah. So my friend in high school, that I usually ate lunch with, he, like every day, was telling me, I'm going to Japan, come with me. Like he was just telling me, come on, like let's go together, let's go together. Like, so after a while I kind of broke, and I'm like, all right, what's the website? I'll check it out. It's like a study abroad. He was going there for like 6 months. So I checked out the website, and I'm like, oh, study abroad actually might be kind of fun. I never really thought about this before, ever. And Japan was the only country with scholarship options.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
For the company I used. All the other countries didn't have scholarships. So like I was like, oh, Europe sounds cool, Argentina sounds cool, but they're all like $12,000.
As in, it's out of your pocket, right? You nobody's gonna sponsor you.
Yep.
All right.
But Japan, like the government would like pay for some of it. So like the cost was $3,000, which is like an expensive plane ticket. But they pay for all the transportation. They help with a lot of things. That money doesn't go to the host family, so I don't really know where that money goes. Because the normal price was like $10,000. Crazy.
No, so what was this program actually?
It's called YFU.
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 Oh, YFU.
Yeah, it's like it's like an exchange company. They're a company, right?
Okay.
So maybe.
So it's an exchange program. It's not really a university.
No, so this is high school.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like, so I went on this exchange during like my summer break between 11th grade and 12th grade. So like high school, right before my last year. I had like, American summer breaks like 2 months.
Oh, okay, sorry. Not much information on that.
So
okay, yeah.
So after like 11th grade,
Uh-huh.
we don't have school for 2 months, and then the 12th grade starts.
11th grade.
So it's like high school second year.
Okay. That's the break before high school second year, right?
So it's the break before high school third year is when I went.
Oh, okay. That's right. We don't have.
It's like Japan.
It's a different system.
Yeah. America's like 6, elementary school 6, junior high school 3, and high school 3.
Singapore is still the same 12 years, just that it's 6-4-2.
But in America, we just count by grade. So we don't say like second year or something. We just say 12th grade.
Oh,
it's the last year.
Yeah, we don't do that.
So like 11th grade is like the 11th year.
Okay. Yeah, technically our compulsory education stops at the 10th year. So the last 2 years is kind of optional for Singaporeans.
But like, does everybody go?
No, typically people go. Yeah, people continue to the tertiary institution.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah, so our break's long, so it's like 2 months. So I went for 6 weeks to Japan in Ehime, very countryside, small town in Ehime. And it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. I didn't know Japanese. You didn't have to know. But my host family didn't know English.
Okay.
Yeah, Google Translate was my best friend.
Yeah, so just a heads up for people watching or listening, right? So if you go to the Japanese countryside, as in really the rural areas, the chance of finding English speakers drops exponentially.
Yeah.
So I mean, lately we have Google Translate. We have things like DeepL, right? For those of you who don't know, DeepL is good for Japanese to English translation, especially.
The best.
It's really accurate, even for informal speech and text translation.
It's the best.
But before that, I think people who were here like in the early 2000s and 2010s, when Google Translate wasn't that popular and DeepL wasn't in existence, good luck, man. But now it's much better.
Yeah, so communication was definitely a problem. There was a lot of miscommunication.
Okay.
A lot. It happened so many times. But
yeah, so I mean that's one of the part of fun, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so first thing, right? Why Japan? For myself is kind of by chance, but the opportunity presented itself. For Ethan, it was kind of like the friend, you know.
Well, this exchange, I didn't know anything about Japan, so this exchange kind of got me to just taste life here.
It's a 6-week thing though.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So not so long, and I even went to the high school for 2 weeks.
Oh, so it's like 30% of the time?
Yeah, I go to high school. But like, it just got me interested, like, I got a taste of what it's like. And I really liked just the lifestyle. Even though I was in the countryside, I could still like walk to the convenience store.
Oh, hey, that's not too bad.
Yeah. I could bike to like restaurants and convenience stores and walk to them. Even in the countryside, where in the US, I'm from like the suburbs, you can't even do that. And that's like almost the city.
Okay, we don't have such a thing as countryside in Singapore because in the first place, it's a small country and we have like shops everywhere. Supermarkets are like 1 bus away at the most, right? Either you can walk there or you can take a bus. So we don't have a countryside idea per se. This is new to me.
So kind of just that walkability is kind of what first got me like, wow, life was just so easy there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, granted, Ehime is already kind of like rural in Japan.
Yeah, super rural. So it got me interested in wanting to just live here after that. So that's kind of like, after that experience, I decided that I want to go to university here and I want to try living here. I think I will enjoy it, and I'm still here.
All right. Okay, very good. So, next one, second thing. Why Japan? Second, compared to your home country. Maybe you can start this. Why Japan? Number 2.
Well, for me, the interest all started with walking. Just walking. I cannot walk back home.
Okay.
You can walk, of course. It's not like it's not allowed, but like there's a lot of dangerous places, and to go to like a store or restaurant, meet your friends, you just can't. You have to drive. Public transportation is not so good, and everything's far.
Mm-hmm.
So you just kind of have to drive anywhere.
Oh, okay. Walking. So you mean in Ehime or Fukuoka?
Where I'm from, so like just in general, everywhere is just more walkable. Japan,
Really?
yeah,
Okay. This even distance wise.
everything is more walkable because you can take public transportation
Uh-huh.
to pretty close areas. Even
Mhm.
I want to go on a hike, I can
Okay.
take a bus decently close to the hike sometimes. Not every hike, of course, but like I have gone on a hike via bus.
Okay. I can see where you're going regarding the walkability thing. At least in Japan, because of the seasons, the very mild seasons. Like, but for myself, I actually enjoy walking and hiking. So in spring and in autumn, I walk everywhere. Actually, I even for like up to like 1-2 hours, I don't mind. In Singapore Singapore is a small country, so it's walkable. You can walk
Yeah,
from
of course.
the west side of the country to the east side. It's about 43 kilometers. Walkable, right? It's like one marathon.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't do that because it's bloody hot. So we on average it's like 26 to 34, which is kind of like summer here.
Yeah, summer
Yeah.
here is awful. But
So we can walk, but we don't do it in Singapore. So it's kind of like weird to me that you listed that as a reason.
yeah, like just walking to the convenience store.
Yeah. I do that. I do a lot of walking.
In America, you just can't.
Yeah.
You have to drive, and if you have to drive, that costs money.
Yeah. Gasoline is not free.
And like maybe it's a 10-minute drive, which means like a 30-minute walk. So
that's not too bad.
30-minute walk?
Yeah. That's not
You don't understand until you do it.
Okay.
Something about walking there, it's such a boring place to look at.
Maybe it's a boring place for you as a native, as a person.
There's just nothing.
Oh.
But it's like 30 minutes of like maybe house,
Okay.
house, and like they're all like the same shape.
Okay. But I mean, in Japan, some places it's like apartment. It's kind of the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah. It's similar. Yeah, like those places. Except at least they're different shapes.
Yeah. You mean the houses are the same shape?
There's like you check it out. There's like cookie cutter houses.
Oh wow.
Well,
Okay.
That's the UK, but like they're all the same. So like walking through this like 30 minutes is really boring.
Okay, I see your point. I mean, to some extent, we have that in Singapore.
Imagine they all look like this.
To me, it looks nice. I mean,
but like you see it just 30 minutes over and over again.
Oh, okay.
The first one is cool, but then it's like you get bored.
It's a bit different in terms of perspective for me because to me this is fresh. I don't see this in Singapore.
Yeah, of course.
I don't see this in Singapore. So to me, maybe the first few months, I'll think it's interesting.
Yeah.
But maybe if you've been there all your life. It's different. It's different. Okay.
Yeah, I could see that. Like definitely, if you were to go there, you would enjoy it. But like, it's like Japan. There's at least just something different, everywhere.
You get like weird stuff from time to time. Yeah.
You get like some super weird stuff, but there's always something different. So it's like there's always a scene. There's always some scene.
Okay.
Where this is just grass and cement and houses.
All right. Okay, so fine. So the walking, right? Actually, my second point is not too far from yours in the sense like it's more of public transportation across the country. So not that public transportation is bad in Singapore, just that this public transport thing also links to the freedom of travel.
Oh yeah.
In Singapore, because the country is small, yes, sure, we have freedom of travel. You can travel via train, via bus, anything. You can go anywhere across the country using public transport. But you're saying like from one end of the country to another, it's like what 40 kilometers away. In Japan, if I say that moving from let's say Fukuoka to Tokyo is like freaking traveling between countries in terms of perspective from Singapore's perspective. So in a sense, because I came from a small country, this sense of living in a very big country to me is very refreshing. So it became it's like freedom of travel, freedom of moving around. So in Singapore, especially if this was especially pertinent, and you can see it during the pandemic period.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't travel during the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, where the heck can you go in Singapore? It's only that many places. When we're talking about city, it's only that few square kilometers. We're talking about shopping malls, only that few shopping malls. So yeah, it kind of got boring real fast.
Just like saw everything.
Yeah, I mean there are certain places that you can go to in Singapore, but after you've explored them, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it, man. And there are some places which are out of bounds. It's illegal to go to in Singapore. I might touch on that in the future, but there are abandoned places which are interesting, yes, but you can only go to these abandoned places a few times, and technically you're not allowed to go there. So if the police comes in, you're screwed, right?
Yeah.
So in Japan, there's so many places to go to, but of course people can argue that, hey, it's not just Japan. Any big country, you can experience this, but so fair, yes. But then again, part of the thing that you mentioned before, the safety element comes in.
Yeah.
If I tried to go to abandoned places in the US, maybe safety is not such a it may not be that safe. There could be homeless people, maybe. There could be people with guns, maybe, right? And if I'm going there with my camera gear, maybe I might get mugged, maybe.
If you're worried about who's in the abandoned place, yeah, you never know.
Yeah. In Japan, we don't really see squatters so much in Japan, surprisingly, right? There are homeless people, for sure.
Yeah.
But you don't see squatters that much here. So abandoned means you wouldn't expect anybody inside, except for maybe bears.
Yeah, maybe.
And wild boars. So, and of course, what's that chemical called? Asbestos?
Oh yeah, asbestos. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so like the safety aspect here is not so much of danger from other human beings. It's more of danger from animals, danger from chemicals. So it's safer to explore abandoned places here in Japan compared to I would say other countries, right?
Yeah.
So I guess it's a kind of a weird hobby for me, but I kind of like seeing abandoned places. I haven't done so much exploration so far because I don't know why. There's no because. I don't know why. Not yet. Maybe I might do that soon. Yeah, but that's freedom of to summarize, it's freedom of travel, freedom of exploration within the country. So number 2 from me. Number 3.
For me, well, then the other part is probably just the safety. And safety is really important. I think I kind of like 2 things. Meeting people too. I don't know. It feels easier to meet people in my own country, and I know a lot of people say it's not in Japan, but like I don't know. I went back home and I tried to make friends. Like I was back in the US for 3 months last year.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I'm gonna test it out. If I were to go back home and live there, can I make new friends? I couldn't.
In the US?
It might be my state. It might be just Utah. I don't know.
Okay.
But I tried to talk to people at like the bar and stuff. And I did. But then they always went back to their group.
Okay.
So people kind of just stick with their friends and didn't really branch out to meet other people. And maybe meeting other Japanese people is sometimes a little hard, but like making foreign friends here is like so easy.
Okay. I see what I mean. I have similar experiences. So in Singapore, it's weird if I suddenly approach other people at a bar. And in the first place, Singapore doesn't have such a culture of like talking to strangers.
Yeah.
I mean maybe it's an Asian thing, but we're kind of reserved. Right? Even if you're at a bar, we kind of don't talk to people, unless obviously guys trying to pick up girls. But I mean, guys talking to other guys is very, very rare.
Yeah.
Right, very rare. And obviously, girls talking to guys is almost non-existent, randomly. So yeah, in my own country, I don't see it. In Japan, yeah, especially, I think it's more of a foreigner thing.
Yeah.
If you're
definitely.
a foreigner in Japan, you wouldn't mind meeting other foreigners because, in a sense, we're alone, right?
Yeah. You have no family.
You're alone in a foreign country. You don't have existing contacts. Foreigners coming here with existing contacts, I would say is less common.
Yeah.
Not common at all, definitely. So I see what you mean. I would say I would say just like opportunities here. Opportunities in terms of like not just work, but also opportunities to try new things. Because the I would say the constitution here, I think I from what I heard, it was written by the Americans back then,
Yeah.
and they kind of like place heavy emphasis on human rights, right?
Yeah.
So I guess people are more allowed to do things here compared to my country. My country is like safety is always number one. We don't care about. Well, I wouldn't say Singapore has no human rights, but really safety is far more
Like if it puts
overriding.
somebody in danger, even yourself,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like not allowed.
It's like even if you are willing to put yourself in danger, the company is not allowed to put you in danger. Even if you like sign an indemnity form, it's not allowed.
So even if like you want to like go like crazy
Yeah.
bungee jumping
So
or something.
exactly. So like bungee jumping is very limited in Singapore. You're not
maybe
allowed
really
to.
short.
You're not allowed to like jump from, let's say, a helicopter or whatever.
Yeah.
In the military, yes, in the military, but that's another thing, right? I'm talking about for entertainment.
Yeah. Oh.
There's no, from my understanding, maybe I'm a frog in a well or something. I have not seen people post about skydiving in Singapore, bungee jumping from, let's say, a building. That's definitely a no-go. You can't bungee jump from a
Can
building.
you even do like the banana boat? You know the banana boat?
No, from my you can like it's like you
the one that like flips people.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. So things that are borderline dangerous in Singapore, a lot of things are not allowed, right? And anytime anybody really dies, even if it's not the fault of the service provider, immediately the government kind of steps in and say, okay, we're gonna ban this from now. So a lot of things in Singapore are banned for public health and safety. I get where they're coming from, but the government kind of shelters Singaporeans too much. And it ends up being going back to a little bit of my second point. You don't really get so much freedom of doing what you want to do in Singapore. Not that I want to endanger myself for no reason.
I mean, it could be like that banana boat. That's like simple and fun. It can be.
I mean,
some people like it, you know. It's not so dangerous, right?
Yeah, it's not like we still have like roller coasters, sure, but there's way too many rules. There's way too many rules in Singapore, and in Japan you can kind of do shit in Japan.
No, yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
You can.
So the safety aspect, the freedom of doing things that you want to do, not that you're doing stupid things to endanger yourself, but it's kind of just again the freedom thing. So that's number 3. There are things that opportunities to explore businesses, opportunities to try new things. It's very different here compared to my country being a small country where the government really kind of protects the citizens in a good way. But
like
sometimes
probably you can't eat basashi, raw horse.
Oh yeah, the food. We're slowly releasing, slowly getting more freer in a sense. Like we were starting to legalize insects, for example. You can start to eat insects soon. But in like other countries like Thailand, Cambodia, even Japan.
Well, it's never been not allowed, I think.
In Japan, you can.
I don't think it was like not allowed.
It's not like
they never
illegal.
like banned it.
Just that people don't eat it so much. But in Nagoya, remember Nagoya, right?
Fukuoka has a store. You can buy insects. We can eat them.
Right, it's not illegal here.
We can go buy them if you want.
Maybe in the future, right? Was it my number 3, right?
Did I do 3?
You did. Was it safety?
Yes.
Meeting people. Yes.
I did meeting people and walking around.
So 3. What were your 3 again? Just to summarize.
What got me interested?
And
then like
why Japan, right?
And like
the second one was walking. The third one was meeting people.
Was that 3?
Okay. Wasn't that 3?
Okay.
So mine was like again why Japan. Then the second one was freedom of travel. The third one was opportunities. To do things here, be it business, be it experiences. Okay, so inaugural episode. So there's 3 things each why we came to Japan. So if you have any
questions or comments,
I was gonna say that. Yes, questions or comments, please write it in the comment section below. If you wanna continue with us on this podcast / YouTube journey,
YouTube can have podcasts.
Oh yeah. Podcast, YouTube podcast, whatever this YouTube thingy, right? Please like, comment, subscribe, as usual. And we'll see you next week. Hopefully it's gonna be a weekly thing.
Give it a shot.
Yep. See you all next week.
See you guys.
It's Chris and
Ethan.
Yep. And it's Nameless in Japan podcast. I don't know whether we're gonna call it,
Potentially to be decided
yeah, to be decided. Nameless in
for
Japan.
now.
For now, nameless in Japan. All right, see y'all. Thank you.